This video will show you how to use the library databases to find articles to help you with your argument essay. Just like searching the library catalog, you're going to log into Atlas and then click Search the Library in the Libraries box. This opens the library catalog. Instead of using the main search, we're going to go up to the top and click Databases A to Z. You are free to use any databases that Valencia has for your research, but today I'm going to highlight my 2 recommendations for any student doing research on argument essays and those kinds of topics. If you're looking for your own databases, you can look up here where it says All Subjects. The most common for this kind of assignment would usually be the general databases or the social issues databases. Now, if you have a topic, say, that's related to health in some way, you could look in health and medicine. If it's technology, you may choose to look in math and science under those databases. But again, I'm going to show you my top 2 recommendations that really any student can use regardless of your topic. These 2 databases really seem to have a wide array of information and cover all kinds of different topics. The first database we're going to go to is called Opposing Viewpoints. We're going to click the letter O, and you'll see Opposing Viewpoints listed second. Opposing Viewpoints is a great database because it's specifically engineered to help students with argument-style research. There's a few features of the database. First, there's this button here that says Browse Issues. This is great if you can't come up with a topic. So you can see that it shows you all the topics that this database highlights heavily. You can also limit the issues. So for example, maybe you don't know what you want to argue yet, but you're interested in environmental issues. You can go to Energy and Environmentalism and see the kinds of topics that the database covers. If you have a topic already, you can simply do a search for it, and you're going to start very broad. So for example, if I wanted to create an argument related around marijuana legalization, I would just search for marijuana. This helps me see what the database has. If I get an overwhelming amount of information, I can try to narrow from there. But Opposing Viewpoints usually has topic pages. So instead of just getting a list of random search results, there is a whole section of the database dedicated to the topic that I chose. You'll start out with an overview. So this is just a general description of the topic and what's so controversial about it. And then as I scroll down, you'll see that there are a variety of different kinds of articles in this database. You have academic journal articles. These are usually scientific studies and professional research done by medical professionals, or, it's going to depend on what your topic is, what kind of professional they are. You can tell by the title of the articles that these are pretty heavily scientific. Some of the other categories you may see are reference. These are going to be online encyclopedias. So again, they're going to give you some general information. Let's say I go to drug legalization, and you can see there's kind of a short introduction. It gives me some pros and some cons. That's extremely helpful for helping you create an argument, but then also finding counterpoints. And you can continue reading the article. And towards the end, you'll see that you get an MLA citation for the article. Most of our databases do give you citations, but note that they are computer generated, so you'll still want to check for errors in them. The rest of your options are at the top of the page, so you can see you could, again, cite the article, email it to yourself, download a copy as a PDF, or print it out. If we go back to our categories, you'll see there are tons. You can see there are images, magazine articles, videos. These are usually from news broadcasts. Audio, again, from newspaper articles. But then there are some unique categories that only this database has. One of the first is the viewpoints category. So these are pro and con essays related to your topic. So you can see that they're choosing a side of the argument, and this is a great way to find information to support your argument. One of the other things about these argument essays, so to speak, is that it will actually tell you who the person is that's authoring the article. So if you looked at the research basics video and learned about the CRAP test, you'll know that you want to try to find neutral or unbiased information. So it tells us that this person is an instructor of history and social studies. So we can try to figure out, based on what the article is about, if that person's an expert. Generally, we would consider a professor to be an expert, but if the article is about the medical benefits of marijuana, that person's probably not going to be a medical expert. So even though the articles in the viewpoints are biased in a way, they still tell us who the person is so we can judge if they are a credible source. And we can always use the citations that they use in their essay. A few other unique categories are infographics. This is a great way to get quick statistics and information. Check the dates. They can be from anywhere from the early 2000s up to current day. Clearly, you want to use the most current information you can. If we click on one of the infographics, you'll see that it loads. It's interactive. We can see what states have what marijuana laws. And then at the bottom, it shows us where the source is. So this is where the database got the information from. This is how you can check to make sure that the information is accurate or unbiased. And just like an article, you also have that MLA citation there at the bottom. The final category I'm going to show you is statistics. Again, this is unique to this database and helps you find quick information on your topic. So if you wanted to argue that marijuana use should be legal, this would give you some information you could use as a benefit of that. It shows you what states that have legalized recreational marijuana have made in tax revenue. So you could pretty easily argue that it would be a great moneymaker for the United States or for individual states if marijuana was legalized. Again, it shows you where the facts are coming from. So I've gone back to the databases A to Z page, and I'm going to look for the second database that I'm going to show you, which is under the letter A, and it's called Academic Search Complete. Now, this database is a little different than Opposing Viewpoints. It's not necessarily created for argument essays or controversial issues, but it is a multidisciplinary database, which means that it covers a lot of different topics a little bit. So again, this is a great resource for just about any topic. You can find something here. So I'm going to put in my main topic, which was marijuana. But that's going to be a little too broad in this database. I'm not going to end up on a nice topic page like I did in Opposing Viewpoints. So I'm going to add a second keyword to try to get a little closer to what I'm really looking for. In a database like Academic Search Complete, we're going to find research studies. So these are experiments or studies that professionals have done. So I'm going to look for the benefits. I'm telling the database, find every article that mentions marijuana, but it also has to have the word benefits somewhere in there. And then I can click search and I'll get some search results. I can go through my articles, but there are 1,400 search results. That's a lot to go through. So here on the left are some limiters, so you can try to narrow that number down to something more comfortable. The first thing you can do is click the box that says full text. This will update your search results to articles that we actually have access to. You can also look at the publication date. I usually recommend that you stay within a 5-year range if you can. Shouldn't be any older than 10 years when you're using resources. So we've gone from, I think it was 1,400 articles down to 600. So we're getting there. There are other ways to limit your search. So for example, you can look at source types. Again, academic journals are going to be heavy professional studies, but there are a number of magazines, newspapers, and trade publications that you can find. The last tool I'm going to show you in this database to narrow your search is this one that says Subject Thesaurus Term. When you click on this, it looks at our 600 search results and it summarizes the main topics of each one. So we can click Show More here at the bottom. And these are what our articles are all about. So this can help you kind of pick and choose to narrow your results a little bit. So we're looking for marijuana legalization. So I may choose to check that box. And I can click as many or as few of these boxes as I want to and click Update. And that can narrow me down even further. So I'm now down to 41. From here, that's a pretty comfortable number to look through. The other option you have, if you're just not quite getting the right results, is that you can think about changing your keywords or adding additional keywords. So of course, in a database that has a lot of scientific studies, a lot of the articles are going to be about medical marijuana. So I can choose to add a third keyword. So I will say recreational to show that I am not necessarily talking about medical marijuana. You'll want to check and make sure that it kept your limiters here. So we still are getting full text and we're still in the last 5 years. And from here, I can start to look through my search results and find something that's interesting. I'm just going to select a random article so I can show you some of the options that you'll see. It'll bring you to a holding page when you click on the title of the article. You have your citation information here at the top. So you have the title of the article, you have the authors of the article, you have the source, which is the journal title, the date, the volume, the issue, and the page numbers. If you scroll down, it also gives you an abstract, which is a summary of the article. Some of the articles can be quite long. This one is 10 pages. I don't want to get halfway through and realize that it's not helpful. So be sure that you're reading the abstract of the article, but that's not where you're going to be pulling information from. That just helps you decide if you want to read it. When you're ready to access the article, you're going to look on the left for a full text option. I'm going to use the PDF full text. When I click that, that's going to open the full research article. So now I can scroll through, read my article, look for facts and information. All of your options in this database are at the top of the article as well as down the side. So you can see that you can download the article, you can print it, you can email it to yourself, and this fifth icon down that kind of looks like a gold sheet of paper, if you click that, that is your citation tool. So you can go down to MLA 8th edition, and it gives you a citation. Again, these are computer generated, so you will want to check the accuracy of the citation. In general, the information is not incorrect, so this really is the title, this really is the journal, but you're looking for things like punctuation or italicizing, or sometimes the database will put the title in all capital letters or things like that. So this is just intended to be a very quick walkthrough. Again, you can use any database you want through the library, but these two are a very good starting point, Academic Search Complete and Opposing Viewpoints. As always, if you need any help through the research process, you can reach out to a librarian. Our contact information is in the library guide under the Help tab.